What's good, YouTube? Welcome to Draft Capital Sports for the knowledgeable football fan who hopes their team always has a plan. We are about to
bear down
and recap the Chicago Bears draft of 2024. Very good draft, not a great draft, but we'll get into the grades and what I think of every pick. But before we get started, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to make sure you stay locked in to Draft Capital Sports, where we provide all the NFL draft news, NFL offseason news, trades, etc. for your 2024 NFL offseason. Now let's get back to the video. So the Chicago Bears had their 2024 NFL draft, and it was a good draft, like I just said. I do like a few of the picks. Actually, I like the majority of the picks. There's a couple fantastic picks in the draft, and then there's one was really questionable, and the other two were pretty good. I will put it that way. Now, starting off with Caleb Williams, and this is, of course, a very polarizing pick. I, of course, and I'm not going to fall back on it now, was not super high on drafting Williams to start right away, or really any rookie quarterback to start right away. But let's get more into Caleb Williams. I think the reason he's polarizing, and I've been doing some research on him, is he has a very unique upbringing. Now, he's been on his own since he was in high school and not left on his own. His parents actually placed him on his own, I guess, to, first of all, because they trusted him at Gonzaga High School, and to, I guess, speed up the process of his maturity. I think that's why he seems to be very media trained, very individualistic. He's an only child. So there's a lot of things that people are nitpicking and fans are nitpicking at him, as far as his interviews, as far as his individuality is concerned. I don't think that really is going to play into his football ability, or it doesn't show on the football field to me when I watch his tape at USC. Now, him playing at USC is a bit of a problem, because USC doesn't historically produce very good quarterbacks, and that's mostly due to the level of competition that they play against. But I do like the fact that both of his parents were college athletes. His father played football at Oklahoma State. He owns a gym and a training center. His mother was a two-sport athlete at Maryland, as you should know as a Bears fan. DJ Moore is a Terp. He graduated from Maryland, wide receivers coach. Beatty also was a coach at Maryland. As a matter of fact, he was DJ Moore's coach. Things like that, little things like that, can help in a working relationship, especially when guys are trying to get to know each other. That will be a conversation piece for he and DJ Moore to connect over. Of course, we know he knows Keenan Allen already. He got to have some time with Odunze before the draft. So he has good connections with the wide receivers. My main problem with the pick is, one, they don't have a viable backup quarterback, and two, they did not prioritize the offensive line this offseason. That is a failure by Ryan Poles, and I'm going to stop blaming Ryan Poles. I'm going to start blaming the ownership, because no matter who the GM is, the Bears continue to kind of overcommit to young quarterbacks without really forging a complete team around, or a complete offense around said quarterback. Either they don't have weapons or they don't have an offensive line. So and you can commit both. If you look at the success of CJ Stroud, which a lot of fans like to bring up, as far as Caleb Williams, and that's what you would want your quarterback to come in and do. They have one all-pro tackle and one fringe Pro Bowl tackle, and Pro Bowl guard. They got Shaq Mason. They built a strong offensive line for CJ Stroud to come into. So that's the only knock I have on the pick. The pick would be an A if the Bears had an offensive line and a veteran quarterback to help Caleb Williams. The pick is a B+, not because of Caleb Williams, but because of they didn't do enough for the situation. They got him weapons, but weapons are no good if you can't block. That's just football. Rome Odunze was a home run pick. He questionably could be the best receiver in this draft. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. could also be a generational talent. Malik Neighbors could also be a generational talent. So it's just the draft class is the reason why Rome Odunze is not the number one wide receiver in this draft. He has all the skills you need at wide receiver. He's a big guy, but he can still run routes out of motion. He's not just an X receiver. He can play the Z. He can play the slot. So paired with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, the Bears questionably have the best wide receiver core in the league. Now, going all the way to the 3rd round pick, Amagaje, the offensive tackle out of Yale. This was not a good draft pick. That's just the bottom line. Amagaje is a project. There were better offensive linemen on the board at pick 75, but polls, I think, retch for a hometown kid. That's cute if we were like doing Cub Scouts or something, but we're actually playing football, trying to win football games. You need the best players, especially on the offensive line. You just drafted a franchise quarterback. So I did not like the Omagaje pick. However, in the 4th round, Torrey Taylor, the punter out of Iowa. Normally, you would hang a GM for drafting a punter in the 4th round or any kicker in the 4th round. But this guy is kind of a revolutionary talent at punter. This is an A+ pick for me. Field position is an extremely important part of the game. One of the things that was kind of missing in the critique of the Bears season last year was Trenton Gill did not do a good job punting the football last year. And the Bears were constantly in bad field position situations. Caleb is going to need all the help he can get, especially from the defensive side. So winning the field position battle, pinning offenses as far back as you can towards their own end zone is definitely a huge plus for the Chicago Bears team. And they should have probably number 1 special teams next year. Be looking forward to that. Now, when the Bears traded back up into the 5th round, this was the best pick of the draft to me from a value standpoint. Austin Booker is a very underrated, very young, very high ceiling, extremely high ceiling edge rusher out of Kansas. Now, my perfect player comp for him is ex-Bear Mark Anderson. And I think he could possibly come in and have the same impact as a situational pass rusher that Mark Anderson had with Lovie Smith's Chicago Bears. Now, this past season at Kansas, he had 9 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 37 QB pressure. Now, at the combine, he did run a slow 40 time at 4.79, but his 10-yard split was 1.67. That's a very quick acceleration time. He also had a 10-foot broad jump at his size. So if he puts on about 10, 15 pounds, I think he will be a long-time defensive end pass rusher for you. Now, will he be a 4-down pass rusher? That all depends on how his strength builds over time. Will he be that in the first 3 years? Probably not. He'll be more of a situational guy. But you need pass rush help. DeMarcus Walker can handle those first 2-down short yardage situations. You bring this kid in fresh off the bench, and you knock out some quarterbacks. So that is the best pick of the draft to me. Rome Odunze, Caleb Williams, Torrey Taylor, then Amagaje. Hopefully Amagaje can prove me wrong. But right now, I think he's definitely a project, much like the guard that they drafted out of Southern University, Jatiri Carter. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. But I'm not even sure Amagaje can play left tackle in the NFL. So a 3rd round pick on that kind of a player, I don't like it. You know, it's good that he's from Hinsdale. That's cool and everything, but I don't understand the lack of priority that the offensive line takes. We get backups and reach draft picks to build that offensive line. I don't get that. That's the only criticism I have, or that's the main criticism I have. Let me not say the only of this offseason is that offensive and defensive line not being prioritized a little bit more, because professional football is definitely won in the trenches. But anyway, so overall, I give the Bears a B for their draft class, and probably a B minus for the offseason overall. It was a decent offseason, but I think it could have been a lot more. But I still think, will they make the playoffs? They're gonna make a run. I think they will be in it till the end. The division, Green Bay and Detroit sit atop of the division pretty comfortably, though, and that's the problem. And, putting too much on a rookie quarterback is just not fair. I don't think you can expect that. Again, lightning in the bottle could strike, injuries happen, all those things could happen, things could fall in the Bears' favor. But the coaching staff is really going to have to prove themselves in this season coming up. We're going to see how good everybody can coach, because that's what it's going to come down to when you're depending on a young quarterback and being able to support him. So let me know what you think of the Bears draft in the comments below. I'm sure a lot of you are angry. Those of you who have your Bear pom-poms out and are not realists are probably going to be angry. It's too bad. This was not a playoff team. This was not a great team. They're hoping to get there. Did they do everything they needed to do? Probably not. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share the video. Hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching Draft Capital Sports. We out. Peace.